Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please welcome to His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily call. Thank you all for joining. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And I'll share today's verse, which is 2.37, last verse of the chapter 2. You see my screen, Guru Maharaj? I can't hear you, Guru Maharaj. Can't hear you. No voice.
We hear you.
Guru Maharaj, can you hear Guru Maharaj?
Okay, now you can hear me.
Now, yeah, yes.
I can't see the whole verse. It's cut.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Do you want the font size is okay, Guru Maharaj, or do you want more bigger?
That's fine.
Okay, perfect. All yours, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Pibataye Bhagavata Atmanam Sutam Kritam Ritam Shravana Bhuteshu Sambritam Bhunatite Visaya Vidusita Sayam Vardyanti Tacharna Saroruhantikam. Translation. Those who drink through oral reception, now those who drink through oral reception, fully filled with the nectarian message of Lord Krishna, the beloved of the devotees, purify the polluted aim of life known as material enjoyment and thus go back to Godhead, to the lotus feet of Him, the personality of Godhead. Purport: the sufferings of human society are due to a polluted aim of life, namely lording it over material resources. So here is the cause of all problems: trying to be the controller and the enjoyer of the material resources. We living entities are not in that position, nor can we get any benefit from trying to control the material resources. Then Prabhupada goes on, the more human society engages in the exploitation of undeveloped material resources for sense gratification, the more it will be entrapped by the illusionary material energy of the Lord, and thus the distress of the world will intensify instead of diminish. So that's what's going on today. Everyone's trying to exploit material energy, countries, societies, nations, communities, families, individuals, and the distress in the world is only increasing. The human necessities of life are fully supplied by the Lord in the shape of grains, milk, fruit, wood, stone, sugar, silk, jewels, cotton, salt, water, vegetables, etc., in sufficient quantity to feed and care for the human race of the world, as well as the living beings on each and every planet within the human race. So they talk about overpopulation. There's not enough resources to distribute to the, but there is no such thing as overpopulation. The Lord is the seed-giving father of all living entities. He can maintain all of his children nicely, and he has done that by providing nature with all of the necessities that one needs to live happily, healthily, and long life. But because there is an imbalance of distribution, some people have 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times more than they need. Others don't have enough. So there is a disproportion in the way that the supply of the material energy is being distributed. Few people own all of the resources in the material energy and use it for their own aggrandizement, their own material advancement. They're greedy, they're lusty, and a large part of the planet seems to be in want, but it's only due to mismanagement or what we might say a deliberate form of management, which a very few people get everything, and most people struggle to get whatever they need. So this idea of overpopulation is a misnomer. They talk about it, they blame the problems in the world of overpopulation, but actually God has supplied enough for, he can, as Prabhupada has said, and it's also mentioned in the Shastras by Krishna, the Lord can provide 10 times the amount of people on the planet with whatever they need. So we have 80 billion people now, multiply 8 billion people. We can take care of 80 billion people. The earth can do that if things were distributed fairly and people were pious. People are impious and there's greed, disproportion, and everyone is fighting to try to control large amounts of wealth. So the supply source is complete, as Prabhupada says, and only a little energy by the human being is required to get his necessities into the proper channel. So it doesn't take much. There is no need of machines and tools or huge steel plants for artificially creating comforts of life. Life is never made comfortable by artificial needs, but by plain living and high thinking. So nature supplies all the need of the individual and beyond. So all of these artificial creations to increase the so-called comforts of life just put a big burden on the earth, and people are struggling simply to live in a very unnatural environment, exploiting material nature and struggling and fighting to get whatever they can get. The highest perfectional thinking of human society is suggested here by Sukadeva Goswami, namely sufficient hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. For men in this age of Kali, when they have lost the perfect vision of life, this Bhagavatam is the torchlight by which to see the real path. Well, Bhagavatam is transcendental knowledge. It's direction by which one can redefine their actual goal of life, which is to come back to Krishna in devotional service. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada has commented on the Katamritam mentioned in this verse and has indicated Srimad Bhagavatam to be the nectarian message of the personality of Godhead. So it's not just one or a dozen or 100. Thousands and thousands of authorities have given Srimad Bhagavatam its rightful place in society. It is the vision, the light in this age of darkness. By sufficient hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, the polluted aim of life, namely lording it over matter, will subside, and the people in general in all parts of the world will be able to live a peaceful life of knowledge and bliss. So the great souls are not simply interested in becoming Krishna conscious and going back home. They feel for the sufferings of humanity, and they know why people are suffering. You don't have to keep moving the page, you know. And because they feel for the conditioned souls, they want to make a difference by teaching them how they should live in a way that they can get all of their needs and actually achieve the goal of life, which is prema pumarta maha, love of God. Sukavaha, just sit there and don't do nothing, please. You keep moving the pages and putting on things like this, it just disturbs my reading. So just keep it there, and when we run out of room, you can move it up. For a pure devotee of the Lord, any topics in relationship with the name, fame, quality, entourage, etc., are all pleasing. And because such topics have been approved by great devotees like Narada, Hanuman, Maharaj Nanda, and other inhabitants of Vrindavan, certainly such messages are transcendental and pleasing to the heart and soul. And by the constant hearing of the message of Bhagavad Gita and later of Srimad Bhagavatam, one is assured herein by Srila Sukadeva Goswami that he will reach the personality of Godhead and render him transcendental loving service in the spiritual planet named Goloka Vrindavan, which resembles a huge lotus flower. Okay, bring it up the page slowly. Okay, stop there. Thus, by the process of bhakti yoga, directly accepted as suggested in this verse, by sufficient hearing of the transcendental message of the Lord, not just hearing sufficiently, this word is there. Prabhupada doesn't mince words. Every word has a very strong meaning in what he's trying to say. Not just hearing, but sufficient hearing of the transcendental message of the Lord. The material contamination is directly eliminated, not just eliminated, but directly, without one's attempting to contemplate the impersonal Virat conception of the Lord, which was mentioned in the previous chapter. And by practicing bhakti yoga, if the performer is not purified from the material contamination, he must be a pseudo devotee. For such an impostor, there is no remedy for being freed from material entanglement. So the process works. And if one takes up the process and doesn't get the result, that means he has other motivations. He's not following the process. He's trying to gain some material benefit from his devotional service. So therefore, it's called pseudo devotee, one in the garb of a devotee, performing activities that look devotional, but his consciousness is not devotional. And such persons, imposters, there's no remedy for being freed from material entanglement. So sincerity and following the process is the means by which one can succeed. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the second canto, second chapter of the Bhagavatam, entitled The Lord in the Heart. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gena Jana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvasesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya De Satarine Vanchakalpa Turu Bischa Vipa Sindhu Pe Bacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So go to the top of the purport and leave the screen there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So here we see what is the problem. The problem is people think that they can manipulate the material resources which have been given to them in order to get some satisfaction, some benefit, fulfill some need in order to enjoy or live in this material world. This is the problem. For devotee doesn't try to manipulate or lord it over, control material energy. He accepts whatever comes his way naturally by providence or by God's arrangement, takes those things, what he needs to live, sufficient amount of food, whatever else is needed to take care of the body and soul, and he engages the activities of the other resources in devotional service. Thus, he's happy. He doesn't worry about trying to control this or trying to control that, trying to control this. The tendency to try to control, of course, some devotees like to control for Krishna, and that sometimes is done as a means to increase the quality of service. But it's not done for an individual, egoistic, benefit. So devotees don't try to control, they try to serve. And they may have to control whatever Krishna gives them so they can use it in the proper way to serve the Lord. But the living entity in the material world sees opposite the way the devotee sees. This devotee sees themselves as the servant and all of the resources and everything else in it as objects of service. The non-devotee sees himself as the center, and they see everything in relationship to themselves as being there for their enjoyment. And that includes other people too. Now, this is what we say, the cataract that blocks real vision. People think they're the center. The living entity can never be the center, no matter how hard they try. They keep trying, but they can never be the center. The center is the source, and the object of activity is to worship Krishna, who is the center of everything. Because that worship connects that living entity with their actual satisfaction and happiness. Here it's mentioned that the distress of the world is due to the exploitation of the undeveloped resources for sense gratification. They're drilling into the earth. They're going to different continents looking for various types of precious metals and taking whatever they can out of the earth and using it in different ways to build this artificial materialistic society, which nobody is happy. People spend most of their day just making ends meet. In other words, they have some occupation, getting to the occupation, getting the supplies they need to get to the occupation. You need a car, therefore you need money for gasoline, you have to pay insurance, you have to pay for repairs, you have to pay for parking, you have to pay for pollution tax, for congestion tax. Those who live in the UK know what I'm talking about. So, and all of that, they're spending so much money just to make money. And therefore, there's very little return. And they spend a large part of their day simply running back and forth, going, working and spending money just so they can make money to spend more and more money on the same thing that they're trying to make money on. This is the material life. It actually makes no sense. But God has provided everything, as Prabhupada says here. You go down the page a little. Oh, no, it's right here. Sorry. He says, God has supplied food grains and milk. It's interesting, Prabhupada lines these things up in a certain way. Food grains and milk are the basis of human health. The body needs grains, the body needs milk products. These two things will contribute to a healthy and strong body. Food grains and milk. Fruit, Prabhupada said, is there also. It's on the trees, it's everywhere in the groves. Wood for building houses, stones for making buildings, sugar to increase the quality of our tasting, silk for making clothes, various types of jewels for decorations, and for using them for health reasons. Cotton, you can grow cotton. Cotton's there. Salt. Many years ago, salt used to be a commodity where if people wanted to exchange something, they would exchange salt as a means for paying. So if you had a lot of salt, you were rich. Water, of course, water is life. Without water, no one can live. And vegetables, etc. And then etc. means there are many other things that are supplied by the Lord also. And there's no shortage of quantity, as Prabhupada mentions here. And he's made the point. And it's even been given by certain persons in the secular world saying, there's enough food on this planet to feed, 10 times the population. But mismanagement, greed by a certain small group of people have dominated the resources, and they use that for their own aggrandizement, and they sell it back to others to make a profit. Food should not be a commodity for making money, because God has provided food for everyone, and there's enough food for everyone to live happily and healthy, and there's many varieties. And so one can grow their own food and keep, animals to do work in order to produce food and to stabilize one's needs in one's personal life. So everything is provided by God, but we've created, as Prabhupada said, there is no need of machines, tools, huge steel plants. And what are they doing? Artificially creating comforts for life. What is the comfort? The comfort is they work hard just to get some building that they live in that is not even healthy because there's no air in it. Life is never made comfortable by artificial means. So yeah, even though they try in this way, they still it's not comfort. But plain living, back to nature, high thinking, Krishna consciousness. The highest professional thinking of human society is suggested here, and everything, all the knowledge we need to live happily is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is the duty of the devotees to show the world and to live according to the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam as an example for others and as a way of livelihood for themselves. If we are simply plugging in to the same thing we're criticizing for being the cause of all problems, then what is our credit? Just like we say you shouldn't kill animals. One of the reasons why they kill animals is to get leather. So they can make leather jackets, leather shoes, different leather clothes, belts, and use leather in other ways also. So if devotees are wearing leather, that means they're supporting this killing of animals. So devotees don't wear leather, but sometimes devotees forget and then wind up in that situation. So this is an example how devotees should pull back from the artificial means that society has given as a way to live and get back, as the Prabhupada says, plain living, high thinking, not just not just living with no thinking, gorgeous living, no time to think. Why? Because I'm too busy living to have no time to think. Devotees say, well, I have no time to read. I got this duty, I got that duty, I got this duty, I got that duty. We accepted all these artificial duties because that's the way society has set it up. And therefore we plug into society. But Prabhupada's last instruction was to pull out of society and become self-sufficient based on living off the land, simple living, high thinking, keeping everything we need within the community. Living in these nuclear families with husband, wife, and a couple of children in this gigantic house is not living. People years ago lived in communities, and many times they lived in extended families where they would share both the resources and the labor. That way, excuse me, that way there wouldn't be any burden upon a particular individual. Everyone had their service in relationship to the family, and everyone worked accordingly, and everyone contributed accordingly. When it came to raising children, there was enough women in the community to take care of the children. It's not that one mother was taking care of her children and all the burden fell upon her. That child would have many mothers in the same community. So that was done years ago, but in a more secular way. But that also is the foundation by which one can practice spiritual life and minimize all of the needs and responsibilities it takes to live in this world and to raise a family. So community is the answer, not this nuclear family where you have husband, wife, is a creation of the capitalistic society. They have simply created this type of lifestyle in order to sell products. That way, every family has a car, every family has a house, every family has a computer, every family has whatever amenities they need to maintain all of these other things. And they keep selling products, and that way capitalism proliferates, and a few people on the top make all of the profits, and everyone works hard. That's all. It's artificial. And they've divided each other into these smaller groups where people become unfamiliar with people who they live with. We live next door to another person. We don't even know them. We don't even see them. And sometimes but devotees understand that I don't want to live and have to associate with people who are materialistic. I want to associate with and work with and live with people who are like me. I want to be with devotees. So Prabhupada's whole idea was community. And it's developed to a small degree, but not enough. And it's the foundation by which we can show the example to the world how they can live also in a type of lifestyle. And then, of course, plant Krishna consciousness. But first, they have to see an ideal lifestyle, because if we try to give them Krishna consciousness, they won't accept it. But if we show them the ideal lifestyle and practice Krishna consciousness, then they will be more inclined to spiritual life and will become more readily take it up. So we're trying to extricate ourselves from an unnatural lifestyle and get back to a more natural lifestyle, simple living, and time for hearing, chanting of the glories of the Lord, serving the glories of the Lord, and developing friendship with other devotees, not just immediate friends, but in community like that. People lived that way years ago. Of course, sometimes it was just a secular arrangement, but from the material point of view, it was profitable. Just like they say nowadays, most of the products on the market are luxuries. Very few are necessities. And the necessities, they proliferate in so many varieties of ways to make people think, here's a better way to fulfill your needs in life. So everything has become a franchise. Everything becomes a profit margin. and that is capitalistic society. Communism actually is more in line with proper living, but today's communism is somewhat not aligned with pure communism. As Prabhupada said, we are communistic. Krishna is the supreme head, and we are servants of Krishna. We all work together to serve Krishna, and Krishna is providing everything we need. The communist idea is you serve the state, and the state will take care of you and everything you need. But there's always two classes. There's the manager class, and you have the worker class. But in Krishna consciousness, you have those who are managing on behalf of the supreme manager, Krishna, and guiding all of the rest. These are the sannyasis. They're guiding all the rest in the process of living and practicing spiritual life nicely. So it's not hard to understand the ideal, but it's difficult to extricate and rearrange our lifestyle in an environment that is contrary. Therefore, Prabhupada said, we need to have our own, he said, build these farms, create this ideal lifestyle, and proliferate that, and then that will become the standard in society, going back to a more simplified lifestyle. And the earth is suffering tremendously because of being exploited by various types of programs to drill into the earth, to explode the earth, to find different things, to pollute the earth, polluting the waters, polluting the air, polluting the food. All of this is done in the name of what they call advancement of civilization. But where's the advancement? It's advancement in darkness, that's all. Just because I can sit in my room with a computer and I have a car and I can push a button and the lights go on, don't think one is advanced. That's not advancement. It's okay, so we can stop there.
Okay, I'll stop sharing now. Okay. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for again reminding us what this farm community and the simple life and high thinking. Dear devotees, thank you for joining, but please, if you can put your videos on, thank you so much. It'll make it more like a family and we all can talk to each other nicely. Any questions? Yes, Shilpesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to yourself. Guru Maharaj, in the purport, Prabhupada says that Krishna provides everything for us, but we need to do a little bit of labor. We don't really need to use machinery. So I'm just thinking if we were to switch to like farm communities, for example, myself, I don't think my body's up to doing a lot of labor. I mean, can we use machinery in the interim?
Maybe initially just to get started, but then after a while, you can realize you don't need it. I mean, how did people live for thousands of years? What we have now is a phenomenon of the last 300 years. People lived close to everything was there. Animals did a lot of the work. That's what animals are for, to support the human culture by providing the workforce for supplying basic needs. Animals were used for transportation. Animals were used for cultivation of the soil. Animals were used for, getting products for them, for food, for heating, for everything. We are meant to live close to the animals' culture. And now the only animal we live in the city is a dog. And he just passes stool and makes a lot of noise. That's why.
Guru Maharaj, can I ask, what was it like living in New Vrindavan in those early years?
In New Vrindavan?
Yeah.
Well, we weren't developed. We had cows. We had sufficient milk. We even set up our own dairy where we were selling our milk to the commercial dairies around the community. We had a lot of cows. Agriculture wasn't so developed, but it was in a process. But we got a little sidetracked and started to get involved with trying to overbuild the community. I mean, Prabhupada came and told us, he showed us, he sat us down, he said, make houses for the families. And he drew it on paper what it was, a very simple house, enough for 4 people to live in. We called it the Prabhupada house. But we got involved with trying to make money by building buildings on the community to invite people in so they could stay and take part in the activities and then use their money in order for us to somehow keep the temple and all of the needs going. So we lost that focus on self-sufficiency, and we used our community mostly for tourism, making money on tourism. Well, that's not wrong, but it has to go side by side with the process of agriculture, because in Srila Prabhupada, in outlining the process of natural living, the first thing he emphasized, and he emphasized it over, he says, the first thing you must do is grow your own food. That is the most basic need. That will take care of the devotees, and it will take care of the animals too. First thing is grow your own food. But we had an idea of what was the ingredients, but we didn't know how to put it together. We made mistakes. And many of the people weren't suited to live in that type of environment. They were too attached to material comforts. So it became difficult. But some communities actually started to flourish and develop. And others struggled and actually failed. Some communities started and then realized the mistakes they made, started to adjust and became more self-sufficient. Unfortunately, New Vrindavan today is 100% geared on tourism. It's all about tourism. Having big festivals, inviting people in. That's nice. That's preaching. But what about the devotees? What about growing food? So we get money from tourism, and then you go out to the stores and buy food. And we get food that is second class or third class. So tourism has become a franchise, and then whatever money we pull in, then we take care of our basic needs by buying things from what we make on tourism. And we start programs to get people involved in giving donations to support the community. So in other words, everything is coming still from the outside, not from the inside. So in many places, Krishna consciousness has become a business. I don't want to mention one particular place that I know it's a big business. But maybe you know what I'm talking about. Because I'll get smashed if I say it in person. So yeah, we still are using our energy to bring in money to do things. And a lot of money's coming in too. That's only due to the Indian community. Therefore, they focus on the Indian community to supply everything because the Indian community has all the money. And the Indian community is also pious, so they like to give things to religious organizations. So, therefore, we're not preaching so much, even in the Western countries, to the indigenous population.
Guru Maharaj, where can we learn these lessons about setting up a community then? Where would we learn these lessons? I mean, what model is there if a lot of his farms failed? And
Well, you have a model in Hungary with Shiva Rama Nuvrajadam. His successes, he emphasizes kirtan. And his success is because he puts the holy name first. They have every night, they have bhajans for 2 to 3 hours every night. On the weekends, they have extended bhajans. On festivals, they do bhajans the whole day. So I can see the success of that community is that they chant the holy names as the main thing. And people come in. Of course, they also have tourism. They have restaurants, invite people to come in and learn about Krishna consciousness. But the devotees are doing agriculture. They have fruit trees. They have canning programs. They have a beautiful goshala with many, many, many cows. So a lot of the resources that are needed is coming right from their own land. You should go. It's a huge community. It's huge. It's not just a piece of land. It's over 500 acres, actually. Now that's one. What's happening in the America is you got Gita Nagari. Gita Nagari has put a lot of emphasis on cow care and making resources from taking the milk and selling it to the local temples and individual devotees. And they have some agriculture, but not much. But their spiritual fabric is weak, very weak, because they're sacrificed that in order to develop in these other areas. So they put the emphasis on that. But if you go to Nuvrajadam with Shiva Ramaj, you'll see the ideal in both areas. And there is, there's 200 devotees living on the land. There's another 400 devotees living around the community in the local areas. And if someone wants to live on the land and they're accepted, then the community will build them a house. The community builds you a house, gives you the house, and you agree to live there with your family and perform devotional service. If you decide to leave the community, the house stays there. It belongs to the community. But it's your house as long as you're living there.
Do you pay for that
So-
house, Maharaj?
Huh?
Do we have to pay for that house? Money?
Not the people who own it, have to maintain it, that's all.
Okay.
But the house is given to them by the community.
Okay. That
It
is
belongs
something
to the
to learn, isn't it? Without money, how do you manage it?
Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And you, I'm sure they must pay for that house, or at least a part of that house that is inside the farm.
You
It's
know better than
inside the-
me. This was what I was told, because
Mhm.
Bhakti Susanna is from Hungary.
Sorry to interrupt, really. Just
No, if you have insight on how it goes, I'm not sure. This is what I was told when I was visiting there, that the devotees would get to, if you were, not everyone could live there. You'd have to be approved by the community to live there. You couldn't just come and live there. But if you were approved, then, and you would commit to doing devotional service, and then they would provide the house for you.
A brilliant arrangement.
But they have no electricity there.
Yeah.
It's all solar panels.
Solar panel, yes.
everything is solar panels. And they even stopped bringing, they get their water from wells now. They've been drilling on the land and finding wells, and everybody gets well water. So if you need water, you don't turn on your tap. You go with your bucket into the well. There's many wells, and you fill it up, and you fill up maybe 500 gallons of water, and you keep it for a while till you run out, and then you refill it up again. So you got to do some work.
That's how previous village system was, it was so nice.
It keeps you healthy.
Exactly. Grind your own grains and stuff, make your own oil. Amazing.
Yeah, you get oil and you can have your own lamps.
Yeah.
Prabhupada said, what is that lamp? What is that kind of oil they use in lamps?
It's called a paraffin, the diva.
Said grow castor seeds and make oil out of
Castor
that.
oil. Yeah, castor oil.
That's right, castor oil. Yeah, castor oil. That's it. Grow castor plants, seeds, and then turn them into oil. You think, well, that's a lot of extra work. But you have to go out and make the money to buy the oil. So why don't you just work and make the oil right there instead of going out and trying to make money to buy what you need? We think we're living, easy, but we're working hard just to get the things we need, to get the money so we can buy what we need. But in the basic lifestyle, you just do everything yourself and you don't have to go out and work. You're doing the work right there on the land. And the quality of what you get is much better. For instance, Prabhupada said, the food you grow on your own, in your own farms is 100 times more nutritious than what you get in the stores. And today they're finding people are getting sick from eating. Food is really, polluted. And it's chemicals, pesticides, various types of ways to reproduce the food artificially. GMO, that's another one. So the more you go into the material, the more you work hard just to get very little from it. And then an important part is when you live in a community, you develop relationships with each other. Usually, there was one story when one boy, he said to his mother, he was 5-year-old boy. He said to his mother, who's that man in the house? She said, oh, that's your father. So the boy never saw his father for 5 years because when he was sleeping, his father was there, and when he was up, his father was working. He never saw his father for 5 years. And one day he saw his father, and then he asked, who is that? This is a true story.
Guru Maharaj.
I was in Mumbai, and I was traveling from Mumbai to Pune. So I met one young man on the train. We got to talking, and he told me he lives in Pune and he works in Mumbai. And then the train is 4.5 hours to go each way. So every day he takes the train back and forth. He spends 9 hours on the train. And when he gets home, he eats a little, goes to sleep, and then wakes up the next morning to get ready to do the same thing.
5 to 11, their timing of work is they start at 5 o'clock, finish at 11.
Yeah. If once the community is developed, you only work a few months a year, and the rest of the year you take what you produced, and for 4 months, and you live on that the whole year.
Guru Maharaj, can I just finish with a quick testimonial? My wife planted 2 courgette plants this year, and then don't need any care at all. But we had such an abundance of courgettes, you have to give them most of them away. So it's just amazing what Krishna provides us.
Mhm. Nice. Good. I'll come to your house and get some.
I think Deepa gave one to Sukava Mataji to make sure prasadam for you, Maharaj.
We
When you-
did it. We did it. We made prasad for you that day.
Okay. Those who don't know what courgettes are, that's the English word for zucchini.
Same with potatoes and carrots. We get loads. At least in UK, all these things we can grow.
Yeah, well, the UK doesn't have any food. All they got is potatoes. That's all they got.
Easily grows, Guru Maharaj, easily grows in this environment.
That's why they went around the world conquering other countries so they can get some food.
That's that, if you have to develop the farm community in UK, it's big problem.
Yeah, it might be a little difficult because, well, you
The biggest issue.
just have to bring the seeds in from outside. Well,
Might have to make a big
yeah, the island is condemned.
sunroofs, big sunroof houses, and then you can grow.
Napoleon called it the fisherman's island. He called it the shopkeeper's island.
True, that's all you can see. Shops.
Shops everywhere.
Okay, are you okay, Shilpesh Prabhu? Shall we go to Sri Devi Mataji now? Okay, Sri Devi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to you, Guru Maharaj. As I'm hearing your class, Guru Maharaj, I'm thinking back about what my mother would say. She grew up in the village and she would often say, you don't know what joy there is in living in a village. It's such a simple, sweet, serene life. There was so much joy in everything we did. We didn't have all this strain and stress and anxiety and tension. And even my father, because that time the World War II was going on, he said, we were never affected by the war because we were in the village. There was everything in the village. We had food grains, they had rice fields, we had food, we would run and play. He said, the best time of my life was when I was in the village.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it brings people together as individuals and creates community, creates bondage between each other. And you might think, what are you going to do there? Hey, there's so many things to do. You don't have to get rid of your electronic gadgets. I've seen, like I was in Germany. People have nice houses, but around them, they have a cow barn and they have fields for agriculture. They still have very nice houses with basic modern amenities in the houses. But they're depending on the land. They're depending on taking care of cows. So it's not that you have to go back to a more primitive lifestyle. There can be some modern amenities also there, but the basic thing is not to become dependent on the secular society, which is simply geared to exploit people. Now that scientists are experimenting with food and they're using bugs. They're taking different bugs and extracting different things from the bugs and putting it into food, saying this is making the food even better. If you want, I could show you the picture. It's not something I just heard. I saw the actual report. The scientists are always thinking of ways to destroy people or some way to make money. You have to understand the principle of material life. Material life is boring. And so therefore, in order to, somehow or other get out of the boring, they're always thinking of new ways to do things. But you don't need any new ways. All God has given us everything.
In previously villages, we used to make potteries and stuff, and now we pay for those things to learn and go and make it. It is so silly, so silly.
Yeah, when you think about it, yeah. I lived in New Vrindavan for 20 years. Mhm. I lived on the farm. I wasn't a farmer. I used to make butter from the milk that they used to bring me, and then the butter we would give to the deities. And then I did pujari work there. That was basically my services, pujari work, and then making butter.
It's everyone takes their own services with as per their skills, isn't it, Guru Maharaj? Then
Yeah,
it's
there's the Brahmins who give spiritual vision. When people come together after working the day in the farms, people come in the evening time. They have some prasadam, and they sit together and they read, and the Brahmins will speak about Mahabharata, Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, and that will go on for a couple hours, and then people would take rest right after that. And at the end of the day, people would come together and hear about spiritual life.
beautiful life.
Yeah, it was simple.
Shall we go to Rishabhanu Prabhu and Katida Sundari Mataji? Any one of your questions?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept our Dandvat pranams and humble obeisances. I've been listening to very interesting talk from Guru Maharaj. See, we are where we are. In my childhood, I have experienced simple life in villages in Kenya, have seen the model of ideal village life in India as Prabhupada would have wished, where it's a community coming together. The trouble is we are sucked into this consumer way of life, like Guru Maharaj said, earn more, spend more. And the only thing I can feel which could help is a model like Krishna Village, say in UK, and we can experience that kind of life of community, kirtans, growing, and kind of mucking in together.
Mhm.
Other than that, we can simplify our own life, but we are still dependent and sucked into the system of filling the car, keeping a car, needs, supermarket, which provides all the, you earn, you pay taxes, so it's a vicious circle. But I think other than simplifying life as a devotee to show an example to other people, we could do with such a village setups which will promote the idea.
It can be done. It's just like in Leicester, right out of Leicester, you have Sitaram. He has a community there. He has cows, milk, and various things, but he needs help. There's only a few people doing it. And people are not inclined to that lifestyle. But whatever he's doing, on whatever scale he's doing on, is really in line with the Vedic culture. But what keeps the community vibrant is Krishna. It's not just a secular way of living. The point has to be that Krishna has to be the center of the community. Every community would have a temple. Every community would worship together and associate with each other, both in the activities of maintaining the community and at the same time in practicing their spiritual life. Secular society they also want to do community, but they don't have a center. Your center is an ideal lifestyle, but that will not be sustainable because people need some common connection with something that they can all resonate with. You might say their common connection is they all want to seek the good of the community. But you see communities break down after a while because people are individuals and they have their own ideas on how things should go on. And then as the community gets bigger, it becomes more diverse. As it becomes more diverse, it starts to fractionalize. But when keeping Krishna in the center, then no matter how big you get, that center maintains everything, and everything expands from that center. That's why worship of the Supreme Lord is the foundation for the success of everything, materially and of course spiritually. Without Krishna, then it's all, ephemeral.
So Guru Maharaj, do you think that if we want to set up the community, the temple is the first thing we should set up?
No, first thing you do is get agriculture.
Agriculture.
That's the first thing.
Mhm.
Once you establish agriculture, then people can start to, live their life with their basic needs. Food is the most important thing.
Mhm.
Food for the animals, food for food for the residents. As you develop agriculture, then you can bring in cows. And simultaneously, you can also build a temple. It doesn't have to be big, enough where the devotees can go. We're doing that in certain places. Just like in Mayapur, there is different little groups that are living together and setting up a little community. And then they worship together outside of the temple. They have their own little temples, and they base themselves around smaller to little, what we say, housing communities. The Krishna consciousness is the connection, is the seal, is the glue. No ideal material situation will be sustainable because matter is always changing.
Thank you, Maharaj. I feel good that you have put us on path of bhakti. It's a question of going deeper to then find the answers. Hare Krishna.
You'll see as time goes on, it'll become more and more of a need to go back to a simple lifestyle. As Prabhupada said, Western civilization is going to destroy itself in due course of time and already doing it. It's not sustainable. They have to keep destroying the earth in order to get the resources they need. They have to keep making wars when there's lack in one area so they can bring something from another area. So there's always conflict. There's always shortages. There's always problems. So Western civilization cannot sustain itself. It'll, as Prabhupada said, it'll destroy itself. And it's already doing that now. It's becoming ridiculous.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Sridevi Mataji, have you got another question?
Thank you.
I think that was from last time. That was your hand from last time or this time?
This time.
Okay.
Is that okay? So, Guru Maharaj, in Srikakulam, which is in Andhra, there is a farm community where, just like Hungary, they are having no electricity. They have bore wells for water. They weave their own cloth. They have their own Gurukul. They have their own Goshala. They, of course, grow their own food. And they are thriving and an example of a successful devotee farm community.
Where?
So, Srikakulam in Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
It's a
Mhm.
project of disciples of Bhakti Vikash Maharaj.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Maharaj is very enthusiastic for this type of lifestyle. Yeah. Mhm.
so I was thinking that Govardhan Eco Village retreat is coming up 1st to 10th December. So a few days before that, I was thinking, would it be a good idea to go make a trip down there and just spend 3 to 4 days and then come for the retreat?
How far is it? Mhm.
From Mumbai to Hyderabad should be about an 1.5 hours flight.
Oh, flight. Oh, okay. Well, that's an individual thing. Mhm. People want to take a flight, but you should, whatever information you have about the community, post it, and so the devotees can learn a little bit more about it.
Okay. I was thinking making a short trip down there and then coming for the retreat.
Okay, then you can give us a report.
Okay. Okay.
And if anybody wants to come with you, that's good. Good.
Most welcome. I'm happy to take you along. But be prepared. There's no electricity, okay? So you'll have to forget all the electronic gadgets that you're plugged into.
You know, I went to New Rajadam for Janmashtami this year, and the solar panels, when the sun is out, they pull in that energy, and they have, a system where you can flip a switch and you get the light inside. You have so much light coming from the solar panel, so all day the solar panels are energized by the sun, and then when you need light, you'll have it in the evening, and you have it throughout the day also. They're developed. Everything is in place. They've been doing it for years and years and years. But it takes a while to get started. It takes a group of people who are ready to make the sacrifice to get things going. And as things develop, then more and more people will start coming.
Right, right. That is so true, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah. Takes a dedicated core group to take on the responsibility of organizing it from the basics,
True. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay. So any other questions last minute? Any devotees? Or shall we go for the japa?
For me, I think japa, because there's something on my agenda coming up soon.
Okay. So let's do the japa session now. Hare Krishna.
Remember, tomorrow is a special class. We're asking
Yes.
everyone to attend. It's all about Krishna consciousness and health. We'll speak about health and from different angles of vision. I think it's important that devotees understand how they can increase the quality of their health or decrease the situation of getting sick. So we have some ideas that might be very helpful to the devotees. And Srimati, will you be hosting it tomorrow?
Yes. I think so. Srimati Mataji is the one who will be hosting
She's
it.
there in name, but I don't think she's there in person.
She must be working. Doing service. That's why.
I just saw Balaji. Where did he go? Is he
Hare
hiding?
Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances on Krishna Prabhupada. Yes, Guru Maharaj, I'll be hosting tomorrow.
Okay, so we'll do one verse from the first canto, first chapter, verse number 10 will be the springboard for the class.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
1:10.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'll start sharing the screen soon. Very much.
Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna. Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Rama. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna Ram Ram. Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is gone now. Someone wants to take over the hosting. Please. Sri Devi Mataji or Srimati Mataji. Is it possible?
No, unfortunately, I won't be able to host for long, maybe about 15-20 minutes more. That's it. So if someone else can really stay on long, that'll be better.
Okay. Srimati Mataji, will you be able to?
Sorry, Mataji, but I have to go.
Okay. Okay, then in that case, about 15-20 minutes is fine for the japa, everyone, hopefully.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, okay. Okay, then I will make Sri Devi Mataji host now.
Stop live stream, Mataji.
Yeah, yeah, I will do that.